You're listening to Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
All right. Today we have Victoria Johnson on. We're going to talk about the exciting topic of stormwater runoff.
Yay.
Yay, but it's a pretty serious issue. And that's the thing about these local issues. They are serious. It sounds like you tell somebody from outside Burleson, oh, this is what we're talking about, and they're like, oh, he's kind of glazed over. But, you know, if you live through it, it's an important issue.
If it's backing up into your backyard or if it's blocking, if we have to close your street to get to your home, you know, or your usual route back from work, it impacts your daily life.
And also, I didn't mention this in our little pre-game talk here. About 2 weeks ago, Razoo's closed, and a lot of conversation about, because it was part of the problem was the parking. I want you to be able to address that because I know the city has been working on that, but you can also, you know, put in whatever else is in tap for that, you know, because they were like, well, I like the restaurant, but, you know, I had to walk a block.
We are just going to have to retrain ourselves, right? You know, you go downtown to eat at the Cheesecake Factory or Del Frisco's.
Ooh, well, listen to you.
And you have to park in a parking garage and then walk several blocks. We're just going to have to. We're spoiled. I want to pull up in front of Grump's, by golly, and get my burger.
Well,
and I don't want to have to walk that off.
I guess I hit the nerve on that one, but we will talk about that towards the end because the also what the state is doing towards the municipalities needs to be addressed because a lot of people really don't understand.
I know
what the impact of this is going to be, and
every state legislature, they come after local government, municipalities, counties, and school districts because they claim local control, but yet they want control in Austin because they get, you know, you have this image or this perception of it's in Austin. This is how Austin's doing it, or this is how Houston's doing it, or Amarillo. And those big cities aren't Burleson. They aren't Joshua or Cleburne. You know, we're the hacks that they make down in Austin. It's just swiping everybody with the same very thick paintbrush, and we don't all look and operate the same.
Well, let's do the sponsors before you get really wound up.
You know how I am.
Yeah, I know. Well, okay. But anyway, a good place to unwind from all of this is our place. It's still the best place to bribe your children to behave in church.
Well, actually, last Sunday, my husband and I went on a breakfast date to our place.
Oh, okay, a little brunch. Good for you.
It was lovely.
Yeah, that's nice. Occasionally,
I got out without buying a piece of pie, but it was tempting.
You know, no. So you go to the breakfast brunch on Sunday, and you see the deacon board there. Don't say anything. Right? You know, no, it's not that way. But it's a good thing. Robin likes to do that every now and then. Sometimes. You know, it all piles on you. You need to take a break, right? And it's a good place to do it.
Just like a hefty breakfast. It is so good.
Yeah, well, you probably have to go burn it off. The rest of us carry it around with us, you know, because you're so spooled up. All right, anyway.
Can't help it.
All right, but also Gina's is a great place to go. This is where I do all of my business. I was doing my taxes for this podcast and
sitting at Gina's, I hope with a beer.
No, I was doing it at home, but with a beer and something maybe stronger. But anyway, but it's a good place. I didn't realize I went there that often, but that's where I do my business.
Oh, my kids, when Dad has to work late or something, I'm like, Gina's? And they're like, yeah.
You know, and Robin didn't really care for pizza that much, but she really likes Gina's. And that's really unusual. She likes pizza okay, but it's not usually her first choice, but when I say you want to get a pizza from Gina's, it's no problem. So I guess Otto's doing something right.
The crust, it's like crunchy and good.
And then you have also my friend John Williams, I saw yesterday, 817-734-2756 at Old Pro Roofing. They're here in town. There's a lot of reasons why I like these guys. So John is one of the nicest young men you'll meet, and he's very good at his job. But not only that, but these are local guys. And we have several good local roofers, all right? I could name 3 or 4, and they would be, Old Pro would tell you they're good guys and all that. But
you know, that's what I like about Old Pro is I have not come across one roofing specialist that wouldn't be like, they just shoot straight with you about other roofers, about the company, about the work. You know, it's not about trying to swindle you. They want to earn your business the right way. And so kudos to them.
Well, John is part of our B&I group, and a few months ago, another roofer wanted to join, which we can't do. We don't have competition within the room, so to speak. So we invited him to go join a group another B&I group that may not have a roofer. And I asked John, I said, would we want these guys anyway? And he goes, oh, no, they're good guys. They do good work,
That's
blah, blah, blah. You know,
and just like you said, we're really fortunate in this area. We have good local companies.
And that's what I want. And so John checks my roof out once a year. It doesn't cost anything. and he'll tell you. Yesterday he was talking about, in his little spiel he gets, about insurance companies are being just that much more difficult.
Oh,
there.
yes.
And so you need to have up-to-date information about the quality of your roof.
Yes, you have to have somebody who knows and understands so that they can state your case for you.
817-734-2756. I bet you know this next guy too, Jeff Kelly with the Wethington Agency.
My neighbor.
Yeah, 817-781-0546. He's selling a bunch. He and I talk. We get together outside of BNI, sponsor care, if you will, and all that kind of stuff. And he'll talk about some of the things you're talking about and the concerns he has.
Sure.
About some of the state mandates that are making it not just tough on real estate, but to, it's impacting the decision to buy or sell.
I mean, your home has to be one of your largest investments, right? And so,
Alex says, good morning, Alex Phillips. We're going to be talking about that Razzoos thing in the morning. He mentioned.
Oh, yeah, Alex, stay on because
Allard
wants to hit me up about the Razzoos location.
Well, I'll tell you, we'll do it first so Alex can get back to
work,
bringing in those companies.
Bringing in the companies.
But the thing about what he mentioned, he was on the show Monday, and he said that they really haven't made any, any visits or anything, or any haven't been any inquiries yet about it. But we'll talk about all of that.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, back to Jeff, since he's paying for this, 817-781-0546, or Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com with the Wethington Agency and another outstanding outfit. Mm-hmm. And lastly, our friend Rich Phillips over at The Journey, 88.3. It's nonprofit. So one of my wife's favorite stations. Mm-hmm. We have a rule in our house. When she's driving, we'll listen to her stations. And when I'm driving, we'll listen to her stations. That kind of.
That's how it rolls.
Yeah, that works.
Our children are the ones that dictate.
Alex says about that Razzoos will probably be filled by May. Everybody can calm down. Hey, Alex, who is it going to be? Let's see if he answers that one. All right, he probably no. Are you kidding?
He's so good about
keeping a secret,
teasing something, but giving you just enough information.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about that since he's we want him back on the job. I saw Razzoos closed.
Yeah.
And I'm not real big on their menu, but a lot of people like it. Mm-hmm. I'm not big on Cajun food, but a business establishment. Hey, Alex, way to go out there, and that's who's going to take over. I tell you what, he boldly states a business establishment. Well, anyway, and a lot of the people, they were saying it was about the parking. Now, the thing about it is I have auto on next week. Mm-hmm. No, is it next week? 2 weeks from now, the 22nd. And we're going to talk primarily about how tough it is to run a restaurant. So there's
imagine.
There's a lot of other factors that could cause Razzoos to close other than just the parking situation. But a lot of people on Facebook, the knowledge of all things, focused on the parking situation. And I'm thinking, I know since y'all built parking at First Baptist that we share. Did. I look at when I have in my Sunday school class, I look at it over it every day. Mm-hmm.
We built, along Ellison, I want to say it was like 100 parking spots or something to that, all the way up between the rebuild and cleaning up of the city lot that's off of Wilson, and then the Ellison additional parking. I mean, we're adding parking. We've heard that loud and clear, but the issue is walking, and we lease. We have a partnership with First Baptist for their parking lots that sit behind the church. So those parking lots were full, for example, for the parade.
You're right.
And for the the activities.
When you say lease, you're not paying us, I hope.
It's a partnership deal. No, it's just
good.
It's
136 spots has been added.
136 spots.
Yeah.
There you go. So we First Baptist, it's an agreement.
Right.
I said lease, but it's an agreement that we can use it when it's the Sunday nights and the not Sunday morning necessarily, which is not when we would need. We've also added lighting.
Yeah, Alex is real on fire today. We've
sure is.
Added lighting and wide sidewalks, and all this is true. But I was thinking about it.
But we're spoiled, right?
Yeah,
we want to be able to drive up and park right in front because that's how it was for a while when it was only Frescoes and Grumps and Babes. Now we just have so many more options. And by the way, we don't just have restaurants. We have awesome boutiques. We have places to shop, places to do business. We have law offices and other things going on down there too. And so, that's a good thing. We want a vibrant Old Town. Phil and I are on this kick right now that we really want to build up Old Town and enjoy what it offers to our city. There are so many cities around Texas that would love to have
you ain't
a
kidding.
town square
You
or
betcha.
an old town. And you look at Cleburne, they have struggled to keep their square around the courthouse
Right.
vibrant and thriving. We have people banging down our door to come to Old Town. Now we have to step up and say, this is our Old Town. Let's keep up the standards. Let's keep the streets clean. Let's keep the bird poop washed off. Let's deal with garbage smells and make it a place that is truly tourism friendly. We have a treasure in Old Town. We need to acknowledge that and keep it up. Us as citizens, we got to pick up trash when we see it. And as the business renters and owners, they need to equally step up and take some pride in their space, because if something looks ugly, people are not going to want to visit it.
No, they don't.
And I'm really big. I'd like to see a focus on wayfinding. So when you drive on 35, you don't necessarily know that Old Town exists unless you have been to Burleson or you've heard about it from Alvarado or Cleburne or wherever. If you're just driving past us, you don't necessarily know about Old Town and all the amazing things that it has to offer. But if we had a sign that says Old Town, exit at Renfro, or sometimes when I'm heading north, like toward Keller to see friends or something, I see a huge sign that's like visit Rowlett's, something, whatever they call their, like their downtown.
Rowlett. That's a long drive. Drive from Fort Worth.
Just an example of you see these advertisements that say visit downtown, because they have something that they take pride in and they want to showcase. And we have that here in Burleson, and it's thriving and it's growing even more. Alex's team does a phenomenal job of recruiting, not just like businesses that people are asking for, but new to our area that stand out, that meet niches that we don't necessarily have filled in Burleson and our surrounding communities. We need to get people down here, and I want to see, and that's going to make people balk about parking, but we're just going to have to get used to walking 2 blocks, because there is ample parking. You just have to go on the other side of the plaza.
There was some comments about, hey, it's only a couple of blocks, but a lot of people, were critical of that. But
I understand.
But here's what there's a couple other areas that I think we're comparable to. South Lake, if you've ever been there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and they have really nice stores.
And you have
restaurants.
to park
And you have to park.
way.
Yes, you do.
And you're lucky if you even find parking then.
It is
I made the
hard.
mistake of going in December.
Oh, my Lord.
Ooh, I know. But there's a store over there Audrey loves, and so I went to get her bath bombs.
Same with McKinney. If you've been downtown
Yes.
McKinney, and
Downtown McKinney is precious.
when I was in Plano in the late 70s, in high school, you just went to McKinney for core appearances. It's a dump. All right. And now
it's
I go
fun.
there. I have a friend who lives in walking distance of all what we're
Okay.
talking about. And so I go visit, and we'll just go walking downtown. Yes, we have to walk.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to park in front of your favorite hamburger joint, pizza joint, wine bar, whatever, you're going to have to do it like at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And even then, you're not going to get.
We just
right
have to
in front of it.
retrain our brain. It's not that parking doesn't exist, but by golly, we're spoiled.
Vibrant downtowns like Grapevine always have the same commentary.
They do. Grapevine parking stinks.
Yes, it does.
And yet they have lots, and then you shuttle over. I mean, it does. It exists in other towns. We just have to be thankful for the businesses that have invested in our community, who choose to open their doors every day. And we do have some tremendous Old Town partners. I see the owner of Mecca Fox out there sweeping in front of her door, and Old Town Brewery, they're power washing to get, food remnants gone so the birds don't hang out around the tables. And it takes all of us. It's not just one party's issue. It's all of us. Take pride in what we have in Burleson and take care of what we have. The plaza is a major example of that. The visitors are equally, participants in how we keep it up as the parks crew that comes in every day to clean it.
Well, I know that, like Grapevine, for example, you could take the train, the train that goes from downtown Fort Worth to the DFW, and they have a stop, and it's a very nice stop, right? And they have shuttles. It's about maybe, a quarter mile from the main area of shops, all right? And if you don't want to walk that quarter mile, they have shuttles.
They
and
have
all
little
that stuff.
shuttles.
And that was also suggested. And I thought, well, okay.
It's been a couple of years. We did have a council person who suggested something like that, but I don't think we had the foot traffic at that time. We're growing more, and maybe it's something we will have to revisit.
You can do like we do on Sunday mornings at
There
first.
you go.
We have.
I see those those 3-row shuttles driving around and moving.
Our businesses are a part of the team as well as the citizens. We absolutely love our team, according to Alex. But like if I have sometimes at First Baptist, Robin and I park pretty close. It's because of the time we arrive. But if we get there later or whatever, and we have to park a little further out, our buddy Jesse with our little go kart, he's
the guy that comes to get you.
I'll take you right to the front door. And I thought maybe you could do something like that on the Friday and Saturday nights or afternoons or whatever.
We'll just have to
be something somebody could do, a retired person can do for a little pocket change or something like that. Yeah. I know somebody.
You?
No, Robin. Anyway.
Poor Robin.
Yeah. Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, so, the thing about Razzoos, to finish this off, is that there's so many factors that could have caused Razzoos to go. The price of running a restaurant is
I cannot imagine.
very, very tough. And Otto's going to fill us in on that. I remember one time, particularly not too long after COVID, the price of his box of chicken, or his chicken fried steaks, for chicken rather, went up about 40%. What is this?
I love this. Sherry's volunteering.
Larry is retired. Okay. For a second, I thought she was saying he's, Larry's going to run again, I hope. But I'll let him make his own announcement, But I thought, we said
Sherry's
Larry's retired.
volunteering Larry to drive that shuttle.
But I thought, is she talking about the next election? Because I know his seat's up, but anyway.
Yeah. Caught your attention when you saw that. You're like,
no. Anyway.
No crazy announcement other than Miss Sherry's trying to give him more work to do.
Yeah, well, fine. Let's go on to the other issue that's got everybody all spooled up, and that's that stormwater runnage.
Yeah.
The runoff fee, whatever.
It's something we're discussing, and it's still in discussion phase. We've kind of set up. We studied. It was a year-long study.
Oh, I want to finish this off because that's important. Alex says we have also offered free valet on 2 different occasions that was utilized on an average of 2 cars a weekend. That's not good cost efficiency.
I forgot we did pilot the free valet. We did attempt that, and no one really took advantage of it.
It's free. I mean,
I know. They just didn't.
You just tip the guy, right?
I mean, I think about when I go to Hughley for an appointment or something, they have valet. I never use that. I just go park out in the back 40 and walk over because I just don't feel like I need valet there. But I just wonder, I'd like to ask Russ Weaver, how much is that actually utilized? Because I don't feel like I ever see anyone use it.
Well, parking really is critical to the downtown life because what happened in downtown Fort Worth is that there used to be a pretty good-sized parking lot on Houston and 3rd, okay, right across the street from...
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, right near Sundance.
Yep.
And after 6, it was free.
I remember that.
And you could get validated during the day. Can't do that anymore. And the downtown owners are like, this is crap. And so you get restaurants like Riata, who's been there for 40 years, moving outside of the downtown area.
Yeah, because parking stinks or it's extremely expensive.
Yeah. And
I mean, now if you go to the stock show, that parking over there is absurdly expensive. I want to say it was like $20 or $25.
Yeah, that's a good example of why parking is that critical. But I think y'all have done as best you can. I think you've done a good job. In fact, I think a good job. But back to the controversial fee. Now,
stormwater drainage.
Yeah, this got a lot of attention primarily because this was not going to exempt churches. Okay, and you had a really good meeting for what you and what Sam Ross told me. They had a really productive conversation about
in December. We were, I know I was, and several of my colleagues on the council spoke up and said how much we appreciated. In December, pastors from several of the churches in our community, First United Methodist, Open Door, Pathway, they had, and First Baptist, they had representation at our meeting.
Was it Sam or Chris at the meeting?
It was not Sam. I want to say it was Chris. It was Chris.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
so
he's
got
easy
up
to deal with.
And they spoke, and we had a true dialogue, which we couldn't be more appreciative of. Whether it's a citizen that we're talking about, a zoning change affecting, or anytime something's going to impact, we can't make an educated decision if we don't have dialogue about it. And sometimes we truly are just shooting from our hip going, well, I think this is how this will play out. And so we were so appreciative that the pastors that did attend that meeting in December did. And they spoke well, and they stated their cases. And so honestly, this has been it's been about a 3-year-long discussion, but we did a thorough study for about a year, and they looked at, what type of fees would be, would make sense. What would that fee structure look like to give us something so we're not just making it up? How, if this certain fee were implemented and it's at this fee structure, this is how much over time you will collect. All of that data and information had to be put together to where we could adequately make a decision about how do we proceed with this. And so it's not something we have just developed overnight. It's something that has been in the talks for several years. And honestly, when you look at a heat map of what communities have this similar fee, we're one of the standouts that actually don't. And really, this fee could have been implemented about 20 years ago. And why councils previous to us haven't?
Oh, I know why. I mean, because they were tax averse. And I think...
Because it's a hot topic, right?
Right.
Anytime we're going to increase taxes or charge a fee for something, we're going to get heat. But my position is always, what are we giving citizens for that? If we are truthful, if we are transparent, and if we get to work, if we do what we say we're going to do with those funds, then there is no spinning that has to be done. Now, last year we had to, or 2 years ago, we raised the tax rate, and we said, this is the amount of money it's going to capture. Our streets are in disrepair. They are terrible. We need to dedicate more dollars to street repairs. So we said $1 million of that money that was going to be the additional collected went straight to streets. And people saw the work around town. You saw Summercrest being improved. You saw Hidden Creek being improved. And these were routes that people had been balking about for a while, understandably. And so we got to work and we did it, and people could see that. Dan always says, let's put up a big sign that says this was funded by this, so that
I've
people understand. Yeah, Fort Worth does it.
Yeah.
And so where your money's going, and we're not trying to hide anything with this stormwater issue. It's not fancy. It's not anything. It's not something that absolutely every citizen in our community even notices. But all throughout town, we have ditches and drainage collection areas with erosion, with that get bogged down with tree limbs and trash and grass and all kinds of things that have to be cleaned out. And we cannot dedicate the resources that it necessitates, honestly. With this fee that we are considering, it would dedicate a crew to all of our stormwater system. So that would be improved level of service and expand our services. Right now, we are completely reactionary. We have seen a trend in rain that when it rains now, it's not like it rains slowly all day. It's torrential. And then all this water collects and it has nowhere to go.
You're not going to give me this climate change business.
I'm just telling you, right? Tell me the last time it rained. Could you even see out of your windshield?
Well, that was a long time ago, so I can't remember.
Right. We've been fortunate, sadly, right now to not have very much rain, which is helping with the PD construction because we're actually getting things done. But
well, here's the thing.
When the rain comes, it's going to come hard and heavy. And what do we do with that? It collects and it can back up into somebody's backyard. It can close your neighborhood street. And we see this all over town. We get those 311 or 911 calls, sadly. And they're like, hey, a car's stuck here, or somebody tried to drive through this. And now, dangerous things are a culmination of that. We have to be more proactive. We're solely reactive right now. And by the way, when we're reacting to something, we're removing crews, street crews, from a project that they're working on and saying, come do this. So we drop a project and we respond to something. And honestly, it's never going to be a full on complete addressing the issue because we don't have the funds to do that right now. So it's just a Band-Aid.
Well, as far as the churches, when Sam Ross came to us and said, this is on the table, it wasn't like, these Philistines, they're taxing us all. The response was more like, why is this necessary? And that kind of thing. And since I was in the room and we've talked, I was able to kind of give the other side. And most people said, that sounds reasonable. And this pastoral meeting was Chris's idea, was it not? I mean, I know Mr. Fletcher personally called several of the pastors, say we're having this meeting and we'd like to see you there.
Now,
I don't know. It maybe didn't originate with him, but he made sure they knew about it and asked them to be there.
So we had a stormwater drainage town hall, which just means we opened up City Hall. We had diagrams, maps. It was open to the whole community. I'll give everyone credit. There were signs by every little body of water you may have passed in Burleson, every little creek, every little crossing that had a QR code and said, "Come to this town hall. Let's talk about drainage." And you could scan the QR code, and it takes you to all this information and pictures and stuff. And we didn't have a ton of people show up, not typical, right?
It's about
but
normal.
then staff went above, and I know the mayor attended some, and some of my colleagues also attended. I believe Mr. Scott attended one or two of them. So we had a pastor group. We've met with Rotary clubs. We've met with Lions clubs. And by the way, that offer stands. If you have a group, if you're a BNI group, or if there's a group that wants to understand this issue, council people, staff, we're willing to come and present. The more that understand the issue, the better off we are. We aren't trying to do this in a silo.
Oh, no, of course not. And y'all been very transparent.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be. This impacts your bottom dollar as a citizen, and we understand that. And where in December, it was just a council meeting that these pastors attended following the pastor group meeting. So, and they came to kind of, I think, once they were presented all the information, they go back to their home campuses and, looked at numbers. And like I said, right now it's all kind of in a draft form. We were given like a fee schedule, a fee chart, like as a starting point. And it included, staff asked council, because churches do not pay property taxes. So, but this is a fee. It's different. It's looked at different from the state. And so we as a local body can determine whether or not to charge.
At least right now, don't tell Dan Patrick.
Right. So we can go, we can determine as a local body whether we want to charge it to a church, for example. But when we were looking big picture, if you own land in Burleson and you have a structure, whether that is a shed, a house, a building, a driveway, if you have something that can't soak up the rain, impervious surface, then you are contributing to our water runoff. Right. Everyone is. And so at first we were like, look, if everyone's contributing to this, shouldn't everyone have some stake in the game? And
they're all affected by it.
Absolutely. But then hearing from those pastors at the council meeting, it was very helpful. It's like, okay, look, no one came and said, absolutely not. Some asked, is there a way that we can reduce this fee if y'all determine we still have to pay it? Or, what are the options that we have here? Like I said, it was a dialogue, which was the best part. We actually could have a conversation, and that's what it takes to kind of get it down. We're not going to get it perfect, I'm sure. We never do. But we can get something that people are amenable to, but it also is making a dent in the issue.
Well, here's my personal opinion. And first of all, I understand. I guess the pastor's argument is that's money that won't be used for ministry purposes and that kind of thing.
And that was eye-opening.
Yeah. But my response is like First Baptist will be probably the biggest payer along with Pathway. And I'm a member of First. And so if it costs us like $11,000, I think is what we were told, then
for the year,
then my brothers and sisters at First Baptist need to pony up because we are citizens of the community, and we do have advantages of not having property taxes or income taxes because of our nonprofit status.
Correct.
But that doesn't exempt us from being part of the community, and I don't think it's a very good Christian witness, as they say, for us to continually demand services of the city and not put something back into the pot. Because if we have a fire, we're going to call the fire department. If we have need for police, which we've had a couple of times, which is, believe it or not. And the police every Sunday helps the people at the crosswalk between the parking lot and the building.
St. Anne's,
same thing, right?
Yeah, we pay for off-duty officers.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's the kind of thing that, as citizens of the community, I think we need to. If it does impact our budget by $11,000, then we need, as a body of Christ, need to pony up another $11,000 in tithes, donations, or whatever. And not all churches are in that position.
No.
And I know that it's a graduated fee.
It was, It's not a one size fits all. It looks, it's a square footage, and no two homeowners may pay the exact same. But what is something that's digestible but also makes a dent in the issue that we have at hand. We have, for too long, completely negated maintenance, ongoing maintenance of all of these stormwater collecting spots. There's erosion, there's all of these issues. And so we're only prolonging those issues when we don't have the adequate funds to address them proactively. And we're also removing staff from other things that we have planned in our community to address these issues. And so if we can be more on top of it, hopefully we wouldn't have those, oh my goodness, this torrential downpour just happened and now let's close these 3 streets. And, it's about safety. I mean, how many times have you heard a car that drives thinking, oh, it must not be that deep, and then something tragic happens?
Yeah.
This is important. And I don't have a drainage issue directly in my backyard, but that doesn't mean somebody in my neighborhood's not having, every time a new development is coming in and more concrete and more rooftops are coming in, we have to look at what's the impact to runoff, because it will impact somebody. We have to figure out where it's going. And once those developers put in the initial infrastructure, it's then ours to maintain as a city. And so we have to keep these things clean. We have to keep these channels clean. The concrete, we know water destroys concrete. And, it does it every time. You look at a pothole that once was like this small and now you could fit, a human being in the hole. I mean, water destroys and tears up things. And I think people significantly underestimate how dangerous water can be and how impactful it can be.
Particularly this time of year, because if the water gets in there and then it freezes.
It freezes and then it expands and then it just busts it all up. And so I encourage citizens to go look at all the information on our website. We have everything there. We have maps and tons of documents and pictures. We're more than willing to come out and visit with any group that will have us, because it's important that people understand where we are. But ultimately, I want people to understand this is about being proactive. It's about increasing the service level that we currently provide. Because right now it's all reactionary. It's not very much money, but we would be able to, with this fee, at some level, because we're still going to talk about what this fee looks like, who all is going to share in it. Is it churches and nonprofits? Is it just homeowners? And my thing is, we hear that homeowners, bear the brunt of so much.
They do.
So that's where we were like, well, maybe this is a time that we don't pass this fee solely on to homeowners. Maybe we do look at sharing the burden against other, not just commercial and homeowners, but other property participants too, the churches, the nonprofits. And so I don't know. We're still going to talk about it.
I would not like to see a tax on like Harvest House or Next Step or something like that. But the churches like Pathway, like us, like
When you look at how
Church
much
of Christ,
concrete and building space.
Yeah, I think that's a different thing entirely, because the nonprofits operate in such slim margins.
Yeah,
that
it's true.
Even a $3,000 or $4,000 expenditure would be difficult for some of them to overcome. Whereas a church our size, or Church of Christ, or Methodist Church, Pathway, all the above, we have the ability to self-raise funds, so to speak. And if we get a $5,000 assessment or whatever, then for the year, this is a yearly fee,
This
not
is
a month.
yeah, it's annual.
Because that was another $11,000 a month. We can't afford it. No. It's a yearly fee.
Well, it would be on your water bill or something. So technically, it would be over the span of a year, $11,000 at the highest.
But we can
for
self-raise
First
funds.
Baptist. Yeah,
We can raise the money.
you have the ability to pull strings in or out how you need to adjust. But the hard part was listening, because we know our church community in Burleson is impactful. First Baptist with the community promises. You have a food bank. You have counseling. You do our church communities do so much, and it is hard to weigh that. We don't want to lessen the ability to make an impact, a positive impact in our community, but at the same time, we have work to do. And so, what does that look like? And so, the council has a retreat coming up a sit down and
That's
let's
a
get to
beating.
work.
We had those at school, and
You
people
sit
think
there for like 2 days and your bottom hurts, and you're
Yeah.
like, my brain is mush. I cannot think of one more thing.
they think of these retreats as like you're going to some cabin out in the woods or lakeside thing, and it's going to be grilling out. No, retreats are in the city council building, right?
This one's going to be in I think the annex across the plaza,
And so-
where right next door to economic development.
Yeah, and that's just a whooping, And we did it at school. Oh, we're doing a retreat, and it was just it's still on campus.
We have to weigh all of these heavy topics, and it's like, yes, no, maybe, and you have to look at all the angles, which was what I was most proud of at that December council meeting, is that we were actually able to deliberate something and listen to input and discuss it as colleagues. And so that's what this retreat's going to be. Let's hammer through some of these things. Maybe we come out with a better outcome. Maybe we just, throw a dart at the wall. Sometimes you just need a starting point.
We get free pizza. That's all we got out of it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I hope we don't get pizza.
No, it's always pizza.
Sometimes we get stone soup sandwiches, and those make you happy.
BOF, you betcha. That's right there is a good reason to join the BOF is for the lunch. But as far as the others, for school, I think one time Fast Taco came in, and that was a good deal.
Their tacos,
Yeah.
I had them yesterday.
And that was pretty good. But anyway, we're getting off the topic as always.
As always.
Is there a vote imminent on this fee?
Not immediate. Like I said, we have the council retreats coming up later this month. And by the way, that because it's all council, it's an open meeting. Citizens are able to attend. And so, I encourage citizens to be involved always. We are local. We're in your backyard. Come to City Hall, submit speaker cards, come talk to us. We make better decisions when we have true discussions about things.
Well, you get better buy-in, and there's always going to be a couple of cranks, and I can couple by name. I know you do too.
You, no, just
no, not me. Yeah, no, I'm just saying there's always going to be some criticism. That's just part of the gig. But as far as I know about how city government or all government works, you have to have like 3 hearings on it. Have you had a first hearing, formal hearing?
No.
Okay,
We had a presentation.
Okay, so you're still...
You have to have 2 hearings. You have to
still
have
at
a
best.
first reading and a second reading.
Right. You're still, what, 2 months away at best?
At best.
Yeah.
And it'll take about 6 to 9 months to implement before you would even see it. It's not easy to discuss new fees or increasing taxes. But I'll go back to, if we can show you what we're doing with your dollars, that's the most important. People don't trust what they can't see. But if we're transparent, we are communicative to our utmost ability of saying, this is where your money's going. This is what we need. Look what we accomplished with your dollars. It's about being very upfront about everything that we're doing, and we definitely try. In fact, our finance department has received a number of awards for its transparency, its access to information. We're not trying to do things behind closed doors or in a silo. It doesn't benefit anyone. And we're your neighbors too. All of us sitting up in those 7 seats are homeowners in Burleson. We pay taxes. Some of my colleagues own businesses in addition to their homes. And so
Dan's probably going to be hit pretty good fee on this, on his...
He owns a business and a parking lot too, and he has a house, and he actually was one that said, "Well, I don't have a drainage issue in my backyard, but our community overall is having an issue with stormwater drainage."
Where are the worst spots?
Oh goodness! And you're gonna.
Oh! Look at here. Yeah, of course.
Look at all those.
See, that's why we get.
These were 311 requests from citizens and individuals in our town saying, "Hey, this is an issue." I think this map is so cool because it shows it's not just one spot in our town. It's all over. It's on the east side. It's on the west side. It's north. I mean, it's everywhere.
There's one place that you and I could both remember before it was redeveloped when the old Church of Christ was on Wilshire.
Oh my goodness! It was like a pond.
Yeah, and it would stay there. I mean, it'd flood out their parking lot, and it would be there for like days.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, back up.
Ooh. Okay. See all of this growth? I mean, and this, it has to get scraped out. It just collects over time. And this is not something staff is able to stay on top of because they've got streets to maintain and build.
There was a couple other places also on Summercrest, where that slope, that hill comes down, and you have very deep dips on the intersections.
When it rains, it sits. And by the way, when water's sitting, not only is it breaking up all the concrete and creating issues there, but mosquitoes and other issues, this is erosion where all the dirt's just falling in and then it gets washed away over time. And so look at this concrete. This is not because cars are driving in there. That's from water.
The only times I've seen like Hidden Creek overflow has been about 2 or 3 times. But I've also seen Warren Park.
Look at this.
Beautiful.
Can you go back for a second? That BHS, this is a great example. Look at this erosion.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, students are walking through this.
Oh, yeah. We saw the floors afterwards,
Yeah.
The only time I remember ever having to call school off because of a flood was I was still teaching at the junior high. And it was because the water runoff around Wilshire was so intense. But that was a long time ago. But as far as this particular fee and as far as this particular process, yeah, it's kind of a segue into our next part of our conversation. This is being kind of forced upon you because of actions by the state legislature, because it's making it very difficult for you to raise funds. And I'm going to have Chris Fletcher on Monday. His eyes are going to light up when I mention about the state legislature. And, you're not going to find many more conservatives more conservative than Chris Fletcher, but he's had enough of what's going on down in Austin.
Every session, this last session, there were over 4,000 bills that were introduced that would impact how cities do business.
Jerry Scott says also Hearst Road. That's also true.
Yes, Hearst Road is such a good example. Yep. And so, every time the state legislature meets, it's like I said, they hear about things as representatives. They hear about things that are happening in the big cities or in Austin, where they're based for a couple of months every 2 years. And they go, they're not doing it right. We can do it better. And they propose these sweeping changes that impact big, small, medium, all the same way. And that's not how we all do business. And I'm not saying that there are not places throughout Texas that have done things on the up and up, but we are the local level of government is the most responsive to the people. Everything we do, you see the immediate effects of. It's not like this gets passed at DC and then in 3 years you might feel its pinch. When we say we're going to patch a road, you see the road patched. When we say we're going to dedicate fees to cleaning out drainage and all of this stuff so that water is not flooding our streets or backing up into somebody's backyard, then you're going to see those effects. But every 2 years, the state says, you're being wasteful with your dollars. We can do it better. Or you don't need as many dollars. The final special session this last summer was really focused on reducing the cap on reappraisal increases that the cities can capture. So right now we're capped at 3.5%. When there's a reappraisal of a property, if it's reappraised at 10%, more, we as a city can only capture up to 3%, 3.5% of that growth. And they were they were very adamant that they were going to reduce it to 2%. So you can pretty much guarantee the next session, that's what they're going to do.
The way they drew the districts.
But think about this. And so I had colleagues from the COG board and all across Texas that were going down to Austin saying, well, can you consider some exemptions? Because when what we take in from property tax alone does not even cover public safety, just fire, police, 911 services, it doesn't even cover that. So if you cap us at how much we can grow, how much growth we can capture, how can we afford pay increases? How can we afford the equipment that only a couple of departments need, much less all the other departments that we have?
And things ain't getting cheaper, for road construction or anything else.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, here's another factor that Chris is going to bring up, I'm sure, on Monday, and that's the CAD, right? The Central Appraisal District, freezing the rates for 3 years. And Abbott wants to do it for 5. And he said if they actually go through with that, it would impact your budget over the next 3 years by $6 million. If they did it 5, I can only imagine. And it's such a dumb idea because what's going to happen is after 3 years, it's going to be like Jack in the Box. It'll boom, you're going to get a 30% raise.
Homeowners are struggling with the increase. And I get it. I'm a homeowner in town. And my husband actually just mailed off our tax bill to Scott Porter this week. I saw the stamped envelope. But, I get it. I hear that, because we live in a thriving community, homes are the growth in value is rising. But if they're saying, well, this is hard on the backs of homeowners, 2,000 or 3,000 or whatever, 1 to 2, 3,000 each year is hard and they can't maintain that. So what happens in 3 years when it's a $10,000 or $15,000 increase, or in 5 years when it's a $20,000 increase?
Right, exactly.
If we continue to grow, which God willing, Burleson will, we're blessed and we're in a wonderful spot for growth. We've got tons of opportunity, but that means things are worth more. And so I don't know how that argument makes much sense when you just said it the best. Like this Jack in the Box is going to pop out and you're going to go, how can I afford $15,000 tax increase this year?
Right. And also the alternative, they say, well, you can use like sales tax to make up the revenue.
Oh, so when you go buy a taco, you want to pay 30% sales tax? I mean, I don't have the answer. I don't.
That's a bad idea.
The argument about property tax. I do. And I follow along with the Horse Barn group. And I know Craig Hunley very well and numerous people in our county that are, looking for alternative solutions. I don't have an answer for that. Kudos to anyone who can figure out the golden ticket. But sales or consumption, there is no one fee is going to solve all the issues. Our citizens in Burleson expect 911 to answer when you call. They expect police to come if you're getting in an accident, fire to come if your house is on fire. They expect their streets to be in driving condition. They expect water to keep moving and not flood your house. I mean, what level of service it ultimately comes down to this. What level of service are we willing to accept as citizens and pay for?
Well, the sales tax would absolutely devastate Joshua or Godly or these others.
Yeah. Well, at least in Burleson, we have a healthy sales tax.
Yeah.
Like I said, our property tax alone does not cover public safety. It requires supplemental from sales tax and fees and other revenue sources in our city. But a place like Grandview, how are they going to pay for public safety alone?
Right.
Much less fixing your streets
or
they don't
water
infrastructure.
They don't have the opportunities, the businesses we do here, all the restaurants and shops and the big grocery stores. I mean, you go to you go to Grandview, go to Alvarado, whatever. Where are they doing a lot of their shopping? Right in here in Burleson.
Keep coming to Burleson.
Yeah, right. Well, Alex would say that. Alex, I'm still buying local, eating local. It's all good. I feel guilty, if I
don't you? Do you hear a little Alex on your shoulder if you go eat somewhere else and you're like,
no, I'm sorry.
I could have eaten at the Torchy's in Burleson and not the one in Fort Worth.
Yeah. Well, it's like, this proposal that they're talking about down Austin, and it's going to be probably the main driver now that they have the voucher issue taken care of more or less. So it's going to be the main driver. Yep. It's like
here they come.
I just do not understand why they think that this is going to be a good economic solution to the cities, because I think sometimes they look at Austin.
And they do, or Houston, or the big cities, Dallas.
Well, they look particularly at Austin because it's weird and hippies and commies and all this other stuff. And they think that all cities run like that. And, and they point out to examples of either radical politics as they see it, or wasteful spending, on and on and on. And so they do these blanket type of legislation, and it just hammers Burleson. Yeah. Or, I don't know, Mansfield too. I'm sure their guys are talking the same way.
I think the most important takeaway is citizens have to recognize the power that you have. Have conversations with your state representatives and senators, and, it's about, and your neighbors. We all need to be educated about these things and how they impact us. And it's a genuine question. And I think they don't have all the information. And so have conversations with our elected officials to say, this is how this could impact my community. In Burleson, we are very fortunate to have tremendous public servants. But if we can't pay them, if they don't have the resources to do their jobs, if they don't feel like they can make an impact, what are they there for?
Well, you just gave me a really good idea. I bet you have contacts with Miss Kerwin's office.
Yeah.
And after the show is over, I want you to send them to me. I'll get Miss Kerwin. And you told me earlier.
She's willing to listen. Her staff is listening. I mean,
hope so.
Mr. Cook and Phil King, we have to have continuous conversations with these individuals, not just when the legislature's in session, because then they're bogged down in Austin. Let's get them while they're home. Let's have conversations on the regular. And we need everyone talking about this stuff because it impacts us all. We're all neighbors. We all expect a certain level of service from the community that we're living in, that we're contributing to. What do we want to see in our city? What are we willing to accept? And then we need to be partners with the state. This isn't we're trying to get one over on citizens. If anything, we're trying to take care of our citizens to the best of our ability. And we can't if they continuously say, you deal with less. And meanwhile, the state sits on this cushion of a rainy day fund. It's like, well, how about you put some of that work to these roads that, TxDOT could particularly fix, expand, address, please. Please.
I feel like I kind of pulled your string a little today.
It's not hard to do.
Well,
I'm passionate.
If Ms. Curran or Mr. King say, well, I'm really busy, we could do Zoom calls on this show. It's been a little while, but we used to do them all the time. So, the idea that, well, I can't make it to Crowley, well, you can make it in front of your desk, in front of your computer, I bet, for 30 minutes or whatever. So I'm going to be contacting them. I'll have to do that tomorrow. I got my full afternoon, but I am going to contact Ms. Kerwin. I believe she has a Republican primary opponent, and I'll contact her. And on the elections as a whole, I have not heard anybody other than Mr. Fletcher say he's going to run. I have no idea. Maybe Sherry will tell us about Larry. I don't know. Is she still listening? I don't know. She's probably going to do what Alex does and keep mum. But anyway. If
you'll just have to extend an invitation to Mr. Larry to come on the show.
I extend it to all candidates. Yes. I made it clear on a posting that it's the criteria is not am I going to vote for you, but could I vote for you?
I saw that post.
Right, and so if Larry got a credible candidate, that credible candidate would be on the show if he wanted or she wanted. Yeah. And Larry's like, that'd be fine. Chris is the same way. He's like, if I get an opponent, that's fine. This isn't like a public forum in a sense. It is Mr. Allard's neighborhood, right? And so if we get a hack, and we've had that before, if we get some sort of hack, and I'm going to say, no, thank you, take your business elsewhere. Because I don't want my sponsors, if nothing else, to be associated with that. But last election, I had Mr. McNally, your opponent. I had Brandon Crisp and Lexa Bedecker on. And I thought it was great. And but you got another year to go, right?
Thankfully.
Well, I don't know.
I feel like they just you blink and it's an election year again. But just as a reminder, elections, it's that time for the city. And so places 2, 4, and 6 and the mayor are up this round. And just this last meeting, we officially called our election. So I saw when I swung by City Hall that the packets are available right there inside the doors.
The deadline is like early February.
I think so.
Yeah, like
I want to say it's like
12th.
Something in there, 12 through 15, somewhere in there to turn in your application. And the city secretary's office, Amanda Campos is our city secretary. She is sought out statewide to teach how to run an election. She knows what to do. And so if you have any questions just about voting in general in our city, we are partnering with the school district, and the election will be held at the Johnson County Sub Courthouse. We have leased that space for this election because there's ample parking, there's an elevator, so it's accessible.
But is there a transit system there? No, you have to go and walk.
You do have to walk to the doors, but there is an elevator. It can help you get up if you can't climb stairs.
Well,
and it's just a big space. It's a great room to run elections, and so that's where we will be.
Well, as far as the school board, I know there are 3 spots open, but a lot of the school board races are always, it seems like most of them are unopposed.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard about anyone running for that either.
Well, maybe it'll be calm and quiet, but I'm going to try to get those state representatives and state senators.
I think we just have to have conversations. This is your community. This is how it impacts us. And, what we expect as citizens. I expect to have 911 answer when I call, or, at a street, I expect to have street repairs, and so things that just the average conducting business in town.
Sherry says, anything I could do to keep him busy, I'm all for it. Yeah. Well, I admire y'all for serving because
I love it. And I am we're so fortunate to have an awesome council right now. We work well together. We have good discussions about things and deliberations, and that's healthy for our community. There's 7 of us with 7 different opinions, and we all come to different conclusions and same conclusions sometimes, but different routes. And so that's good for a community that's growing. You want us to have good dialogue. Come to the council meetings, send in speaker cards when you can't make it, email us. We're all responsive. And we're just privileged to have the opportunity to serve our community.
Josh, you still have the Chamber of Commerce material that you can find?
I do, in fact.
Yeah, okay, because I told Melissa I'd talk about
Next Thursday.
Yeah, next Thursday. Well, he'll get to that too.
Okay, sorry.
All right, January 27th, of course, is Business Over Breakfast, which is a big hit.
It's so good to attend. It's early, and it's exactly at drop-off time, so I don't get to make it often.
Well,
but that is a bang for your buck.
Tell your kids to walk. Anyway, take the bus. Yeah, but anyway, well, I can't go because I have a DBU class at 8 o'clock on Thursdays and Tuesdays. And, I get, 5 or 6 wide awake students and about 12 to 13 other sleepyheads, So anyway, and it's being partnered with the Center for ASD, which we'll have on the 22nd.
Cool.
Lisa's going to be on the show. Also, there's an event next week.
Thursday.
A week from today, yeah.
Yeah, the winter luncheon. And the highlight is nonprofits.
Yeah, and he's talking about speed dating. And
they go table to table. They did it last year, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You got to hear a little bit from their little elevator speech about what they're doing, what they need help with. It was fantastic.
Well, see, I told Melissa I pioneered speed dating in high school. I'd show up at the door, and 2 minutes later, the date's over. So, so I know what you're talking about. So
it's a good thing you got Miss Robin.
Well, I told her I had money, and so okay, so there you go. Anyway, they also on 21st of February is that business showcase, which is
that's coming up too.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
This is a busy time.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best things the chamber does.
This
really,
is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's time to sign up, guys, and you check out the website for fees and whatever, and it's definitely worth the money. I mean,
is.
I don't know what. I know there's different.
They get so much traffic at this event.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it's a great bang for your buck. Come showcase your business. Tell us what you do, what you provide, and connect with others. It's as a community, we have to help and promote each other.
Well, one thing I do is I take a little bag and collect all the swag,
all the goodies, all the pins to get me through the year,
right.
And all my grocery shopping bags. You see that one right there?
Yeah.
I think I'll be there on the 21st.
Yeah. So anyway, that's going to be great. Okay. Well, it's good talking to you again.
Yeah.
It's been a little while. I know you had busy Christmas season with the youngins and all that.
And I was so sick. We had
too.
council on December 18th, and I was losing my voice that night, and I was sick for 3.5 weeks. It was the pits. But I'm glad I'm back on the mend. So our next council meeting is on a Tuesday because of MLK.
Right.
So we will meet on the 20th at 5:30 at City Hall.
All right.
Come one, come all.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Thanks, Josh, for being so quick on the computer. That was good pickup
And
there.
thanks, Miss Sherry and Aaron for joining us, and Alex for being a part of today's conversation.
It makes it a lot easier when everybody's participating on the show.
It makes it fun.
Yeah, so it's but good. I have to shout out for Josh for picking that up on the 311 like that.
Yes, you rock, sir. I so appreciate you pulling that up.
Yeah. So like I said, Monday I have Mr. Fletcher. I may only have one show next week. I don't like to talk about what's going on in the Allard household, but my mother's in the hospital, and so she's probably going to go home in about Wednesday or Thursday next week. So I'm going to keep that open just so I can be available for that.
Sure.
I mean, she's not in danger. She's in rehab.
Sure.
But she's 83. So we
Got to be there for family.
This Christmas sucked. All right, that's all there's
so
to it.
sorry.
Between Rob and I being sick, and there's issues with my mom, and she's over at Dallas Presbyterian right now. It just stinks.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
You'll get to a point in your life where you're taking care of both your parents and your kids, right?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, but you're still ways off. You're just a
I
young
hope so. I don't know. My mom will not go to the doctor for anything.
Yeah, I know. Well, my mom is kind of like
She'll be like
that.
limping and like, hello, nope, I'm not going to the doctor.
Yeah, well, I got also shouted at my sister because she took the bull by the horns because Navarro County's going to say, come in Monday. And my sister said, that ain't happening. So they put my mom in the hospital on New Year's Day in Dallas. So they just, they weren't going to wait for Navarro to get back to work. But anyway, that's, but you're ways off from that. I mean,
Listen, I have a bionic foot. I have a fake joint.
Yeah. I'm probably the same age as your mother. So, so she's still got some time too.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for today.
Sure.
And for always keeping our community engaged and giving them an opportunity even if they don't tune in immediately, they can always go back and listen.
Well, that's what normally people do.
Yep.
I don't get a lot of real time because people work during the day. So I usually I don't really even bother checking out the number of views on Facebook or YouTube until a couple days later.
Sure.
because by that time, maybe they've dialed in or I've shared it with a lot of people, and people tonight will get on Facebook and they'll see it and maybe drop in for a few minutes. So, I hope to have a very busy, active time with the politics in a sense, but also I feel pretty good about the fact we're probably not going to be going through some of the crap we went through about 3 or 4 years ago. I think we're done with that.
Hope so.
Well, there's always going to be some crank on the Facebook, but that's their problem. I talked to my sister, and she showed me Corsicana residents talking. Holy moly.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I have family in Corsicana.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the tea?
Oh, well, they some of the same hair pulling that we go through about fees and taxes and whatnot.
Cost of doing business.
All right. I do have to go, though. All right. We can sit here and chit-chat, but anyway.
Thank you.
You bet. And I'll talk to you all next Monday.